Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's segment of the Listen Learn segment. We are here talking about Penny and the Willow Tree. I have my guest, the lead role of Penny and the Willow Tree, Lene Ferguson, also known as LadyPerez. She will be talking about her role in the movie and what it means to help. Now, this is a mental health project that we worked on here at Met today, and it talks a lot about mental health. It covers a lot of categories. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Lene, and how you got into acting.
So essentially, it kind of goes back to when I was in grade school. Actually, when I was in elementary school, my father, he was the minister of music at Tabernacle Baptist Church in Youngstown, Ohio. And when I was there, they put on a show one time where he was not only the drummer, but like he had on this funny wig where he had an afro, and so he was like the comedic relief for the show. I don't even remember what the show was about, but I remember that being the first time I ever had a spark to want to be in a show. So what I would constantly do is I would go and bother him and be like, hey, I want to be in the next show. Can I be in the next show? And there never was another show. So then fast forward, I grew up, and in the, I believe it was the 8th grade, I was at Ray and Early College at the time, and they had auditions for the show called Ragtime, which starred Nikita Jones and Joshua William Green. And when they held the auditions, I remember begging my dad, and I was like, Dad, can I please be in the show? And he's like, all right, but you gotta agree to keep your grades high, and if they drop even just a little bit, I'm taking you out of this show. And surprisingly, my grades actually got better instead of going down. Even though I was staying after school so many hours, and oftentimes I wouldn't get home till like 2 o'clock in the morning and all that stuff, I was still finding time to study hard. And I just found out over time that this was the outlet that I needed, and it just really grew into exploring other things like film, television, opera, and it's just...
And one thing I noticed about you, Lene, is like you're very, very serious. Like you take what you do seriously. And they'll tell us how there's a lot of entertainers, especially when they're young, they battle with mental health issues. So tell us what this role meant to you, playing a mental health patient. What does that do for you?
Being Penny Johnson has really done a lot for me. It shed light on the fact that I have had my own personal experiences with mental health, and it really gave me the okay, I can talk about it now, because when I was going through what I was going through, and of course somebody's gonna surf the web and find it, but you definitely can still find the video on the internet of my mom doing an interview on it. But I was told a lot of the time that I shouldn't talk about it. It was something that I should be ashamed of, and something that I should keep sweeping under the rug. And I realized the more that you do that, the bigger the problem gets, because you never actually deal with it. You're just like, oh my gosh, here's this mountain of coal. What do I do with it? But if you don't talk about it, you can never get help for it. So being Penny, it really made me remember how I felt, because she says all the time in the movie, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy. Why is no one believing me? Why is no one hearing me? And that's what it feels like, because you feel like you're in this box and there's no light coming in except for this one tiny little crack, and you keep screaming for help, but everyone keeps trying to put the plug into that crack so that they can't hear you. That's exactly what it feels like. So I just hope that anyone who watches the film really knows that they matter and that they're heard.
Now the film touches on, I get to play the doctor, so I get to play, me and you get to play together. The film touches on some things. It talks a little bit about medication. It talks about people, how patients are on meds, and how, but tell us now, do you think medication it plays a factor in help, or do you think the person who is battling with mental health issues, do you think they have to find a divide line on what they want to do for treatment, or do you think medication plays a factor?
It's definitely to each their own. Like for me, I know for a fact I've been on antidepressants twice, and both times I absolutely hated them. But there are some people that absolutely need those to get out of bed in the morning. And there are other people who take bipolar medication to help themselves, or they just go to therapy. And for me, my best thing is therapy. I need someone to talk to, someone I can trust. Not just anybody on the street. I need to build a trust with you before I trust you with that kind of information. But Yeah, definitely to each their own. And you do have to watch for people's patterns too, because it is sad. A lot of people have gone through a lot, and you don't know a person's story even when they tell you, because you don't know the magnitude of what they experienced. But each person, each to each their own, and you have to watch, especially when they start to get to the addiction realm. But to each their own. I
like how open you are about it. Like that's why. And I don't know if everybody knows my story, but when I was on active duty, I had what they call a brain shutdown. So I had to reset my brain, and I had to be around mental patients. So I can vouch for that. And it was a struggle every day, waking up in the morning, because I never thought I'd be in that position. And you do find yourself alone. So, and the one thing I like about you, Lene, is you were very open about it. And when you decided to take the role, there was no question. Now, tell us what was your favorite experience. I know we were probably operating maybe on about a $5,000 budget. And it's a very low budget movie, but it has a lot of good editing, a lot of good scenery going on. So tell us about what was your favorite part of the process, especially when you're you know that you're coming in and you have to get right to it. You don't have a lot of people on set. You know, you have a lot of things you have to walk over. You know, the sets are real small. So tell us about what was your favorite experience working on a low budget independent film.
Just in the acting portion?
I mean, just the whole, like, was it a lot of freedom? Was it less of a headache? Give us a little your experience working in the independent world, you know.
I will say in the acting portion that I think my favorite part of every project is the chemistry that you build with each person.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of these films, you can either have a bunch of fun, or you can either just be down in the dumps and like, oh, when is this over? But when you build a chemistry with the people on set, it's like, this goes by real quick. Like, I remember when we were back there, and my dad interrupted the process. We were there till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, he did.
I'll never forget that, but we had so much fun that night. You know, it just flew by, and I don't even think we realized it was like 9, 10, 11 o'clock by the time we left, you know? So it's just little things like that that makes things a lot better. And getting to know, when you read through a script, like really dive into it and read the scripts, you not only get to know the character, but the mind of the person who wrote it. And I really enjoyed the times where we would sit down, I remember out there on the chairs, and you would talk about your experiences that inspired certain pieces of the film. You know, certain personnel that you met that inspired certain characters and stuff like that. And I really like the fact that Penny, no matter what, really just felt like me. It's just like, you knew me before we met.
Actually, you know, that's the crazy part about it. We're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that after this break, and then we'll show a small little clip. We don't want to give too much of the film away, but when we come back, we'll talk to Lene a little bit more about her character and what her ambitions are for the future. I'll be right back here on the Mediator to meet Brian West. I'll be right back.
Tune in and don't forget to subscribe to Method 8 Inc. YouTube channel. You can also watch free public entertainment. And don't forget to show some support by visiting www.method8inc.com by buying something, clicking something, watching something, or just reading something. You can also sponsor a program as well. That's www.method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
What does Method8inc.com Media Center have that I need?
Small prints, event consulting, photography, business consulting, technical consulting, entertainment consulting, fundraising advice, event videography, movies, news, publishing, media, books, entertainment, acting, broadcasting, public relations, access to the visual and performing arts, ink and black ink refills, audio recording, graphic design, theater, minor computer and cell phone repair, and they're located at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. every Monday through Friday. The list goes on and on.
Method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
Oh yeah! And yes, we are chipmunks.
There's nothing wrong with me.
We never said anything was wrong with you, Penny.
Then why am I still here?
We just got to get your brain levels balanced out. You have a chemical imbalance.
I don't have a chemical imbalance. I just want to go home.
Calm down. Calm down. Why don't you tell me about these voices that you're hearing?
No. Why? Why should I? You don't even care.
Don't think like that. I do care. But I can't help you until we get things balanced out. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm here with LadyPerez, also known as LadyPerez and LadyPerez. Now, you played the character Penny, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, it was just kind of odd when I first met you. I was like, oh my God. You know, because I'd Rose, one of the actors here at Method 8, she wanted to play a psychotic patient, okay? And I had already had some ideas about this character Penny, and then when you showed up, and you fit the role. And the crazy part about it here at Method 8 is there's not usually any auditions. People who show up usually get the roles designed around them, and you got to get a character designed around you. Now tell us a little bit about your character. I mean, just so people can get an idea of what personality you had to play. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so first I'm going to give a small segue into that question, because I do vividly remember when I first walked into this building, I was with my father, and the first thing he said when I walked in the room, he was like, Penny, you're Penny.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I didn't realize what it meant at the time, but like at the time I was thinking like Penny Proud, and I was like, oh, my mom's cat's name is Penny.
Yeah.
And come to find out, this was a character for a film he was writing, so it was like a blessing right on time. But when I found out about Penny as I was reading the script, she's very much like me. She has a mind of her own.
Yeah.
She's very headstrong, stubborn. Of course, I admit that wholeheartedly. Anyone that knows me will tell you. And she definitely knows what she wants. You know, she wants to be heard. She wants to know that she is not alone in what she's going through. And even though she is not willing to associate with just anybody, because Mark scares her a lot, she's open to whatever people are willing to bring forth to her.
Yeah.
Like I noticed that a lot of the film, a lot of the patients were very inclined to come to her and just start talking to her about their problems and things of the past, things she never asked about. And I have a lot of experience with that too.
Yeah.
Growing up in the church or even outside of the church, people would always walk up to me and be like, there's something about you, or they would tell me their whole life story, and then I just never see them again. I'm like, okay, I'll take this with me to the grave. I hope they got better.
Yeah. Now, you seem like you're a singer. You worked on the soundtrack a little bit. We actually did a little songs for the film and everything. There's always a music team, and Lene very, very serious about her craft. So now, do you plan on pursuing this as a career? Would you like to be a professional actor and try to get the big roles? Is that something you have an ambition to do?
Definitely. Like once I graduate May 2023 from Youngstown State University. I will be getting my degree in music recording and 2 minors, one in Spanish, one in business. And I plan to take that degree after staying here for a couple of years to build up my finances and knowledge on, living as a person here. I plan on moving to New York. Either that, or I'm also thinking about maybe Philadelphia, because there's a lot of things there too. Like a lot of Paramount Pictures castings are done there and everything. Or even Netflix films are done in Philadelphia as well. So if the price is right.
All right, so we've got that out the way, and the last question we have for the people out there, especially these listen and learn segments, is being the next generation of talent. I don't know what your career may amount to. What do you think needs to be? What do you think needs to be made better for your generation of talent coming into the game?
I would definitely say for the older generation, stay open-minded, because these new people that are coming in, they have fresh ideas, they have fresh everything. And yes, there are definitely things that the older generation can tell the younger generation to make things easier. But sometimes following their lead will just do wonders for you. And I know that maybe a lot of people who are listening or watching may not be very into the Bible or anything like that, but a verse that I really love to refer to, I believe it's in the book of Isaiah, and it says, "A child shall lead them." And not a lot of people like to use that because they love to say a child should be seen and not heard, but children have such fresh ideas and mindsets and big, beautiful, open hearts. And it's often smushed down, and that's how you get people with anxiety and depression. But if you just let them be them and show you who they really are, you're going to get some of the most wonderful things on this planet that wouldn't have existed otherwise.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can relate, because would you have this building if you, I don't know, didn't have this dream?
Well, I made this company for talent. I was once a talent myself, and methods. I thought everybody had their own methods. I seen people growing up, and I did. And it's funny because the vision for this little building and all this little atmosphere, this independent atmosphere, came from when I was in the hospital. So it was like I told the lady, I said, one day I'm going to try to create a place where people could express themselves, because I was in the doctors. But that's just my little bitty dreams, you know. But that was years ago. But I had nothing else to do, so I thought maybe that was my purpose in life, and I pursued it. So, but that's good, and I'm glad. I hope the world gets a chance to listen and see people grow. And the last, I guess that's it for this segment. Did you have any last comments you want to make to anybody out there?
Well, if I could do a little PSA about where people can find me.
Yeah, yeah. People, how do people? I didn't know, because you're so private. You know, I didn't know if you wanted people to get in contact with you. So tell people how they can get in contact with Lene if they want to book you or put you on their casting call or anything, or auditions. Tell people how they can get in contact with you.
Well, one way to get in contact with me is my email, which is LadyPerez, LadyPerez 2222@gmail.com. And if you would like to see more of me, or if you want to get in touch with me, you can look on my Instagram page, which is Lady_Perez22, or my TikTok profile. All my reels are just everywhere, all over my social media, even like singing, dancing, and costuming as well, because I love designing things sometimes too. But my YouTube page, where you can find literally everything, is Mrs. Lady Perez. So yeah, I'm
glad she's putting herself on the market, and she's willing to work with people, and she's very, very professional, very likes to do everything professionally and on T, so that's good. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and if you want to check her out, we will be doing the premiere August 14th at the Holiday Inn Metroplex in Boardman. It will be at 6 p.m. Doors will open at 6 p.m. If you want to go to the website and purchase tickets, or if you're viewing this after the premiere, who knows when you'll probably look at it. But Lene is always available. She takes this very seriously. She gives her time, and she sacrifices. And on top of that, I want to thank you so much for tuning into this segment of the Mediator this week. Check her out. Check us out, and show us some support, and get in contact with us. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you for tuning to the Mediator this week with me, Brian West. Peace.
And there will be dinner at the premiere.
Yeah, dinner.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.